Your excitement, Terry. So I want to thank the students and everybody else who are here, and certainly to the Dover High community. Thank you for having us. My second time here in a couple months. We did an event here a couple of months ago. It's good to be back. You'll be hearing shortly from Terry Quinn Gray and Judd Wagner from the STEM Council, and Daryl Love from Ashland. We're really grateful to the folks from Ashland. So bottom line is, this education in the sciences, technology, engineering, math, incredibly important. And, this is not just, rhetoric. I'm out all the time visiting businesses. Just yesterday, I was in Georgetown at Pat's Aircraft. And Pat's Aircraft, incredible company at the Georgetown Airport. They got 300 employees, people who are very skilled technically, who are renovating airplanes from all over the world. Doing sort of the soup to nuts, engineers, design, technicians, and they just need to hire, to find more and more people. They're continuing to hire, and they need people with the proper training. And so whether it's places like Pat's Aircraft or in the financial services world, J.P. Morgan Chase announced the other day that they're going to be adding another 500 employees in Delaware, and they're looking for people who are really trained in what's called data analytics, people who really understand numbers and how to use the numbers for the purpose. Rod, how are you? For the purposes of the business, and they're interested in people who have a background in cyber security. You've probably been hearing recently about all the problems that lots of companies, Target being the one that had a lot of publicity recently about people hacking into their computer systems and taking data that really they should not have gotten their hands on. And so this whole field of cyber security is incredibly important. And I think this weekend, is this the Cyber Aces competition tournament? Thank you, I'm glad you know. So a lot of students across Delaware have been participating and competing in this effort around cyber security. So one of the things that we know for sure is that our students absolutely have the talent to help drive business growth around these science, technology, engineering, and math fields, but we want to make sure that you've got all the tools and you're getting the training that's necessary while you're still in school. And that's really where this program comes in. And specifically, we know that having talented teachers in the classroom with you just incredibly important. It's probably the most important thing within the control of the school. And so we have so many talented STEM teachers and other teachers in the state of Delaware. And we're really thrilled about this partnership with Ashland, where we will be recognizing through the STEM Council teachers who teach the STEM fields. It could be one teacher, it could be a team of teachers from elementary or from secondary education who are showing in terms of student engagement or other innovations or collaboration with the business community, how they're really doing things that can be replicated so that students from throughout the entire state can benefit from these kinds of programs. And so Ashland is actually financially supporting this with a $7,500 award for each of the two winners, which is very exciting. And in addition, during the summer, Ashland's going to be putting together a symposium so that teachers from throughout the state, educators from throughout the state can come in and where they can learn from each other, because the best learning generally comes from when educators learn from each other, students learn from each other. And so we're really, really excited about that. And this is why, to me, this is a great example of why we created the STEM Council in the first place. We did this, as Ms. Densler said, a few years ago, but we did it because we want to make sure we're thinking out of the box, looking for ways that we can get students engaged in this STEM education. And our experience is that when students understand how what they're learning in the classroom is relevant to what they may do for the rest of their lives, it really brings it alive for them. And so we've been incredibly fortunate to have as leaders Terry Quinn Gray, who, when she's not doing this, is also the president of the State Board of Education. And when she's not doing that, she actually does a job that she gets paid for, which is she's a senior person at DuPont. In fact, she just came back from India a couple days ago, where she's launching a couple of new products around herbicides and insecticides also? Yeah, okay, good. All right, I'm not going to get into any more detail than that. But we're really appreciative of Terry's efforts, as well as Judd. Judd is the STEM specialist in the Brandywine School District. And so having these collaboration and these partnerships between our businesses, our higher ed institutions, and our K-12 system in Delaware is just really, really valuable. And while the seniors who are sitting in front of us today, you guys may be a little too old to see the benefit of this going down the line, there's no question that future students at Dover High School are going to have some great opportunities, as will students throughout the state, because of this program. And with that, I want to introduce Daryl Love from Ashland. And again, you know, and I wish that every student in the state had the opportunity, as I have had, to go through the labs at Ashland and to see the products that are under development there, and some really exciting products. And to me, the most exciting ones are the ones where products that are based on traditional chemistry are being replaced by products that are based on biologically based materials, so they're more sustainable for the future. And there's just some really exciting state-of-the-art work going on at places like Ashland, like DuPont, and many other Delaware companies as well. So we're thrilled to have Daryl here today. We are grateful for your support, financial and otherwise, and I would invite you to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Well, all I can say behind that is wow. It's first of all a pleasure for me to be here today to be able to bring greetings on behalf of our Chairman and CEO, Jim O'Brien, and the global workforce of Ashland throughout the world. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, just being in a school environment, I have the opportunity to be able to serve on our local school board. I also have a freshman that's at the University of Louisville, this majoring in mechanical engineering. And so I think I can understand a little bit from a parent's perspective. And as I look at your faces today, and I just kind of say to myself, as I'm sure the governor and others say, what will your future hold and what will it entail? And I just see some bright careers. I see you guys being able to make a difference for your families within the communities, being able to give back, but just for the most part, being able to take your education and let it take you places beyond which you can't imagine. Be able to join the governor for your commitment to STEM here as well, along with members of the Delaware STEM Council and also individuals here at Dover High School. It is indeed a pleasure to be here with you. Ashland has a long-term history of supporting education within our communities. And what began in Ashland, Kentucky in 1924 continues today and around the world, including here within the state of Delaware. However, we believe that sustainable success and impact is achieved through, as the governor mentioned, collaboration. In the early fall of 2013, we contacted the governor's office to understand how we could assist in the area of education, and it shouldn't surprise you that advancing STEM was at the top of the list when it comes to education. As Ashland's current focus is also related to STEM, we quickly realized that we shared a common goal, and thus began the journey that brought us to today. Over the past few months, it has been a pleasure for me to work alongside with members of the STEM Council, the Delaware Department of Education, to design what I believe will be an outstanding program that will not only recognize excellence in teaching, but will serve as a catalyst for the exchange of best ideas among state educators. For as Margaret Mead stated, we are now at a point where we must educate our children in what no one knew yesterday and prepare our schools for what no one knows yet. And I know that you all will actually be moving into a new high school and having an opportunity to talk to your principal. Well, you all won't, but the next group will be moving into. You guys will come back and visit. But you know, and I think this is an outstanding thing for your community. We're in the process right now of designing a new high school, and it's around 21st century learning. That's where we really are today, and it's around how we take best practices that we see that are happening in certain areas and really take those best practices and import import those into what we consider to be learning centers. It's just not a building where you come and go through the traditional mode, but you're talking about how do we get students to start thinking about their future, to be able to connect with individuals within the business community and really put more of a practicality towards learning. So I believe that you guys are going to, in this community, really benefit from the building that's going to actually open up in the fall there as well. So, and I will close by saying, you know, really, you guys are really fortunate to have a governor with such a strong commitment to education, ensuring that all students complete their education prepared to compete in a global society. I really look forward to returning later this summer to recognize and celebrate the achievements of those who are selected as winners. And with that, I'd like to invite Judd, the co-chair of the STEM Council, to come up and give his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Darryl. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Sherry, for your leadership in making all this come together. I'm very excited about this award. We've talked about STEM a lot over the last 3 years, and this is a great opportunity to finally shine a spotlight on some good examples of what we're trying to accomplish here. I have the pleasure of kind of giving some of the specifics around the award itself. First of all, I should point out that the criteria and the application for the award can be found on our STEM Council website, which is delawarestem.org. The award will be given to, as the governor said, either a teacher or a team of teachers, both at the elementary level and at the secondary level. And we're looking for those that demonstrate STEM initiative and excellence through teaching, academic collaboration, and student engagement. A total of 2 unrestricted $7,500 cash awards will be given to each at the elementary level and at the secondary level, and that will either go to either a teacher or a team of teachers. The applicants for the award must be K-12 certified educators, and the governor's STEM Council's 3 goals and how we defined STEM education will be part of the criteria on the application itself. Among other criteria, entrants will be judged on their ability to integrate lessons across the various elements of STEM, including science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and implement innovative, out-of-the-box strategies that can be shared and adopted by other schools. Finally, I'd like to leave that delawarestem.org is the place where we can go to find the criteria in the application for this award. Please, if you know any educators out there that definitely should be recognized, please get that information to them. And the submission deadline for all these materials is June 15th. So it's a kind of a quick turnaround. So with that, I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Terry Quinn Gray, my co-chair.
So I always get excited when I'm in a room full of really smart, beautiful people. When I look around, we are in such great shape, don't you think? And so part of that, I just wanted to share a story that I live STEM every day. I am a chemist. I started that journey in 7th grade. I claimed that I was a practicing scientist at 7th grade. By the time I got to 12th grade, I was like wearing my own lab coat and blowing up stuff. I thought I was going to be a doctor, and that didn't work out too well because I couldn't stop crying when people were sick. You got to be able to help people, right? And I say that because I am highly encouraged that everything and every energy that you bring to this conversation, you are our future. About what we're going to need in terms of medicine, in terms of architecture, in terms of actuary science, I think I heard there at some point. Everything when it comes to the basics of STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, will allow you to do that. So I'll tell you another secret. So you're going to go and be that great college student, have lots of fun while you're there. Play around a lot, learn a lot, experiment a lot. And then you can do almost everything with that, right? You can be a lab person, research person, medical practitioner. You can even be governor at some point, maybe, if that's so much on your list. You can run businesses, you can create businesses. So STEM and anywhere about that is a practice sport. It's about doing it, touching it, and lots of people. So that's kind of like my career advice, because you guys excited me when I heard all of that. So let me start with special thanks to Principal Evelyn Edney. Thank you so much for allowing and sharing this space with us to jumpstart our award here. And I don't see necessarily, I want to make sure that I acknowledge the superintendent, assistant superintendent here, just to say thank you again for allowing us the chance to share this, opening, here at Dover High School. Let me start. My hat as the president of the State Board of Education is one that says we have two goals. One is around educators as catalysts. And so this is a perfect fit for us to talk about how important the teacher and educators are to really the essence of learning and preparing our students for the 21st century and jobs above. So with that, educators as catalysts, we're saying strengthen learning, leadership, and achievement for our students. And we want to celebrate the fact that teachers are the most important factor in terms of day-to-day instruction learning experiences. And so that's the essence of this award as well. The 21st century skills is also a primary goal of ours, and that's educating the whole child and preparing them for citizenship. And so we want to touch all parts of you. Most scientists, we don't like people a lot, some say, but we have to work with people all the time. And so that whole child experience is about communication, articulation of who you are, what we call, some of us call soft skills versus those technical skills. You need it all. And so that education of the whole child really is a part of encouraging you to take those STEM careers to the people, to the communities that you serve. So with that, we wanted to recognize those teachers and role models on how not only to learn and enjoy science, but what are those best practices out there that really make and turn us on, right? What is it that makes us tick, want to learn more? If you're inquisitive, if you ask a lot of questions, why, you're in the right spot, right? My grandmother called it nosy. We call it inquisitive, right? And you can make money being inquisitive, right? You can change the world being inquisitive. We all know that teaching can be challenging, right? So for the teachers out there, it's not easy, particularly when you're dealing with the breadth and the diversity of students and families that you serve. And so we don't want that to go unnoticed. We want every teacher to know how important it is what they do, but also to take on that extra challenge of putting STEM important and accessible to all our students. So the tagline and call to action for the Delaware STEM Council is catalyze, connect, and communicate. And this is a point where I just want to say thank you to Ashlyn for the catalyst that you brought to the table for this conversation, because it came from you and it was something that was taken on. And so we appreciate you being the catalyst for this piece. And in a state as small and as gauged as Delaware, we believe our greatest utility is connecting the various STEM stakeholders, right? Because it's in pockets, and we're looking how to foster communication, how to connect students with professionals, how to connect you with each other, how to connect you with opportunities so you can see all that a STEM career can offer, even beyond the boundaries of traditional STEM a program, beyond a STEM career. I think I heard someone talk about bioengineering. Did I hear that from you? That did not exist as a major on many campuses about 15 years ago. And so what that will mean, you will figure that out and you'll define it for the next 10 years, right? So thank you for even thinking about that. And so we're looking at these awards as a way to inspire our teachers, to inspire you, to inspire us. And if we get it right with our teachers, we'll get it right with you, right? That is the message there. So with that, I think I have the pleasure of just giving a real example how great teaching, great character, great energy all comes together in what we call that practice sport, right, called STEM. And if I get this name wrong, you come up here with me, because I think I can say this, So you stand by me in case I don't get it right? So you're Mr. Ifunanya. Ifunanya. Nuagbaga. There's the soft skills out the window, right? You can have PhD and still not get this right. You're number one in your senior class.
That's right.
Just got accepted to MIT.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. And what major?
Biological engineering.
What was that,
Biological engineering.
Biological engineering did not exist 20 years ago, right? And you'll be demonstrating a physics project related to velocity and energy.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I'll turn it over to Ifunaya. Oh, I said it right, almost. All right. The floor is yours.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Tall. Thank you for having me here today. It's a great pleasure meeting you and meeting everyone here. About STEM, first of all, I didn't even know what STEM was like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Science, technology, engineering, math, cool. But about why I like it, well, I've always loved math. My father is a mathematics professor at Wesley, and math is, a big part of our family, and that's the one thing I practiced the most was math. He said, this is going to be the most important thing in life, so you better, practice it and, get ahead of the classes because you will always need this. And I really do always need it. Everywhere I go, I need some kind of math. But as I matured, I started watching TV, started seeing documentaries. I was like, ooh, I like science, but what can I do with that? Or I don't know, maybe I should do something with math. But then the older I got, I was like, what can I do with math? I don't know what I can do with that either. And then so I started researching, not knowing what I was looking for, and I actually stumbled across engineering, and it was basically like math and science. I was like, okay, that works. I'll go with that. So I was like, all right, maybe I want to be an engineer. And then how I got to pick biological engineering actually came from last year. Last year I took AP chemistry, and my teacher, Miss Henslinga, and who's the teacher of this room, she's a really great AP Chem teacher, and I love chemistry, and I love that she taught it. I don't think I would have learned as much as I did if it wasn't for her. And originally I took chemistry because I didn't want to take a whole bunch of terms in biology, and I liked that chemistry was more math-based. I was like, let me take that. But the more I took it, the more I realized, like everything about science, whether it's chemistry or biology, anything, I was just really interested in it. And then she talked to me and said, hey, maybe you should really be an engineer. And that's when she made it a serious thing. Okay, maybe I should be an engineer. Then she looked at my schedule for next year and saw that I wasn't taking AP science class. And it's like, Iffy, take an AP science class. You're going to be an engineer. I'm like, ooh, I don't know. So I wasn't sure. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized, yeah, I really did want to be an engineer. But I didn't take an AP science class, but I decided to take an honor science class and another science class. So I have 2 different science classes, and they cover a wide range of different areas in science. And even though I didn't take an AP science class this year, I really feel like this is the most enriching year for me in terms of science. And that solidified itself into me wanting to be a biological engineer. And speaking of science, there's our experiment back there. Is our physics project that we did 2 weeks ago. He was my partner in it as well, and I thank him for helping me build it because that took a while. But it was our physics experiment, and it was an experiment to show how gravitational potential energy can change to kinetic energy, and we had to determine average speed, power, work, all that. There's a lot of stuff involved. And we actually stayed until almost 4 o'clock after school trying to get it to work because in class we had to get it to stop within the last 10 centimeters. And we failed twice already, and we had one more strike. And we finally got it to work twice in a row without, failing. And then we called him over and it's like, hey, Mr. Burns, come look, it's working. And then it decided to stop right outside of it, of course. So that was a very sad day. But we're not stopping 10 centimeters today. We just want to show you how it works out. So we have it set, and we have a marble, and I would like for Austin to run.
Assuming everything works, we have 3 separate loops, 3 or 4 different curves, and I think we use a total of 6 different pieces, maybe 1-yard insulation. Moment of truth. And it worked.
All right.
Woo!
All right. And that right there is a little engineering example. I can't imagine how people actually make real roller coasters because I think ours would kill a lot of people. But yeah, that experiment also is engineering based, and I'm glad I took physics, and I'm glad I was able to do this. And thank you for having me here today.
Let's hear it for Iffy.